Good evening and welcome to Speak to My Heart, Sister, with me, Coach KJ.
And Coach ST.
So, this evening we decided we would revisit what we talked about last week, life after divorce or relationships, and what that looks like. Because there's so much that you could talk about with that topic. I hope you had a chance to check out our last week's videos, part one and part two of our first session. And so we're going to continue on because we felt like there were some other things that needed to take place after that we would love to share with you as well. So what we're going to do right now is Coach SD is going to give us our summary, and then we'll go forward and get into our topic. Coach SD.
Thank you, Coach KJ. So, just a quick recap of what we discussed last week. It was a very nice topic. It's about self care after divorce and a broken relationship. So, we talked about getting your emotions healthy because if you're to move forward in life in any area, you need to get your emotions healthy. And that's one of the points that we discussed. And secondly, we talked about doing the things that you love to do. As you wait for the next chapter in your life. We talked about travel and all that. So, and the third point was taking time to heal. Before you move into any other relationship, make sure your heart is healed. Have a clean heart. You don't want to go into another relationship, you're still broken and you still have that bitterness in your heart and forgiveness. Because hurt people do hurt others. So you want to go there while your emotions are intact, you're healthy, and everything is good. And that's all from me. And back to Coach KJ. She'll, take us through the topic of today. Thank you.
Well, just to be transparent here, I recently revisited when we talk about dealing with emotions and how you have to be whole and things like that. Sometimes, in order to find that out, we have to allow ourselves to converse and to initiate relationship with other people. How are you going to know if you're not healed if you don't allow yourself to date, if you tell everybody no, if you push everybody away? And again, that's a process within itself. Been there and done that. And what I found out recently when I decided, God said, well, how are you ever going to move forward if you stay right where you're at? So it was time for me to move, and I get that. So in that, me moving, I revisited an emotion that I thought I'd overcome. I thought I'd conquered. And in seeing that, I was like, wow. But I thank God because at one point I would have been so hard on myself. I tend to be very hard on myself. And so it kind of flows out to others. I'm going to be hard on others because I'm hard on myself. I feel like that's the best way. But everybody is different. So I had to realize that. But so in seeing that, I dealt with that. And I was just like, okay, this is what that looks like. So who did I go to? I went to my father, so that he can give me wisdom concerning how to deal with that emotion. And even though the emotion resurfaced, I was able to healthy, in a healthy way, I guess I should say, deal with that and deal with what it looked like to get me towards where I needed to be with that. Because it's just like, okay, so now you're showing me that that's something that I still struggle with. I thought I'd overcome it, but I hadn't. So I don't want you all to be too hard on yourself if you find yourself in a place to where you're revisiting something, because how do we know you passed the test if there's never a test? How do we know that you understand and you gain knowledge if there's never a test? So sometimes we have these tests in our lives to show us we're not where we thought we were. And it keeps us humble. So I look to God, who is my strength, who is my help in times of need, who keeps me grounded, who knows me better than I know myself, who has his best intentions and thoughts towards me. And he is able to not only comfort me and give me peace, but also whom the Lord loves, he chastens. So he teaches us by the things we suffer. And it may not even have to be a suffer, but just by things, just from living day to day and dealing with experiences. But that's how we learn. Yes. That's how we grow. So I said all that, you guys, don't be hard on yourself if you find yourself in a place where you're revisiting something and you're not as far as you thought, or you're not delivered like you thought you were for something. That's healthy, and you self-assess and you move forward
Yeah.
for the next chapter or for whatever that next moment is. It could
Yeah.
still be with that same person, but you want to deal with those emotions that come with it in a healthy way, and acknowledging, hey, I'm not where I thought I was. God
Yeah.
help, or whoever that looks like.
Yes.
If that looks like you coming to us and saying, hey, I need some help. I thought I was somewhere that I wasn't, and I need to find my way there.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And that's what we're here for. So that's
Yes.
what we wanted you to understand. That Coach Esty, you have a powerful testimony that I want you to share with our viewers on why you're passionate about being a coach today.
Thank you, Coach KJ. So, as she said, I love what I'm doing. I'm so passionate about it because I like to help people. I want to help because I have been through a lot in my life. So, my experiences, can help others. To get them out of any predicament they might be going through. So, just a quick thing I want to share that somebody that I coached last year. In fact, it was the same day, like today, the 21st today, last year. So, he sent me a text today saying that, you know what, that time we talked, you saved my destiny, because he told me the day after I coached him that he was about to do something crazy. But one thing as a coach that really makes me want to do more what I'm doing is when I get these testimonies. Hey, I was about to do something crazy, but after we talked, just God did something in my life. So I just want to tell you that we are here to help you, to guide you as the Spirit of God leads us to help you. So that's all for me. So I'm going to take, back to Coach KJ. She will introduce today's topic, which I believe is so nice. So get ready.
Thanks, Coach Esty. So what I want to talk about this evening is what it looks like to be honest about our feelings, how we heal and how we deal with our feelings or our emotions. I heard Bishop Bronner say, feelings follow focus.
That's good.
Focus. And you'll get your feelings intact. Feelings follow focus. And when I think about a scripture that suits this topic, guard your heart, for out of it flows the issues of life. And that's Proverbs 4:23. So the Bible tells us that we are to keep a guard on our heart. We're not to let our emotions just be all over the place. And we hear often where women are really emotional. Well, there's some emotional guys out there too.
Oh, yes.
Most definitely. But I'm an emotional person. So for that, it's always a struggle because I'm so impulsive. I want to just say whatever it is at that moment. But I've learned that however I'm feeling, sometimes it's not the best thing to speak. Sometimes it's not wisdom to speak, because we have to understand that our words are powerful, good or bad, and life and death is in the power of our tongue. So sometimes, God has gotten me a place where he's like, shut your mouth, because we speak in our emotions and we be all over the place. And when we all over the place, we just say whatever comes out our mouth, honey, baby. I used to didn't care. But now God is dealing with me, and I thank God for the Holy Spirit. But he deals with me on shut your mouth sometimes. Sometimes we have to shut our mouths.
Oh, yes.
And sometimes, with that being said, going on, with that, I want to talk about what our topic is this evening. So I was looking at an article by Stacy Laura Lloyd on brides.com. And it was saying 5 key ways to protect your heart in a relationship. So when we're talking about dating and finding your mate and life after relationship and healing yourself, one of the biggest things you have to understand when you're starting to step into another relationship, everything's not going to be a first time success. It's not going to be a first time go.
Yeah.
And because of that, we have to be self-aware. We have to self-assess. There's going to be times where you guys aren't feeling each other, or you have something that causes division amongst you, two strong-willed people, or some, it could be anything, you're yin and they're yang, and but it ain't meshing. So we have to be ready to deal with that and not feel like a failure, or not feel as if, oh, I'm less than, or something wrong with me. Now, let me say this also. Sometimes it is you. And we have to understand that. So when I told you about me being transparent about, there was something that I thought I was past, and I realized I wasn't. And I had to deal with that. But I thank God that I thank God for his grace and his mercy, because he showed me how to do that. It reminded me when he asked Abel, what did you do? And Abel tried to, I don't know, am I my brother's keeper? He just wants us, when he comes to us and asks us, what did you do? Or why are you feeling this way? Just be honest and let him know where we're at, because that's the only way we're going to move forward. We have to be honest about where we're at. And sometimes we think we're further than we are, and we find that we're not. And that's okay, because that's all a part of the growth process. If you're not growing, you're not moving. If you're not moving, you're stagnant. If you're stagnant, you're dead. So back to what our topic is. So what does it look like? The 5 key ways to protect your heart in a relationship. So the first thing that Stacy said on Bryce.com was, take things slowly. One main reason people end up hurt is they rush into things. So, it gets to feeling good in the beginning stages. Everything feels good in the beginning, okay? Let's be for real, all these emotions, and he's just so fine. She's so fly. She's so beautiful. I like the way she smiles at me. Blah, 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 blah. Wah, wah, wah. So we have to be careful that we don't get so caught up to where we don't even sit back to be observant. At all times, you should be observant when you're learning somebody. You're trying to learn that person. So everybody puts their best foot forward in the beginning. So let's just not get so caught up in our emotions that we fail to see anything else, or even sometimes reality. Because everything's, that glitters isn't gold. That's men and women. So that's just reality. So the second thing was, find someone who shares your values.
That's so important.
If you are adamant that you don't watch scary movies, that sounds so superficial. Let me not do examples, because I don't want to sound superficial. In fear of sounding superficial, like that seems so minute when you think about it. Like, oh, he don't like watching scary movies, and he trying to make you watch them. Oh my God, that's grounds for relationship breakup automatically. No. So I'm gonna, in fear of saying the wrong thing. See, I'm learning, y'all. I'm gonna leave that alone. So the second one is, find someone who shares your values. You know what your values are, or you should know by now. And if you don't, then that's another. We need to put that in as an insert. Find out what your values are. What's important to you.
Definitely.
What are your non-negotiables? What I can deal with that, but I absolutely cannot deal with that. You need to know those things. Number 3, pay close attention to red flags. We all know what red flags are.
Definitely.
So I don't have to go elaborate on that. If something's feeling some kind of way, you have to understand and be able to, like, I'm an empath, so I feel things, good, bad, or ugly, right or wrong. I'm just being honest. So I feel things. So a lot of times I may feel a certain type of way, and then it's just like something about the vibe. This something is not there, or I didn't like the way they did this, and I felt this way a few times. I need to acknowledge that. Like, they showed me that, and I didn't really like that. He showed me this, and I didn't really like how that made me feel. She did this, and I didn't really like how that made me feel. These reading glasses make my eyes look super huge. Sorry, God. I lost focus, guys. My fault. So let's go to number 4. Do not settle. So we're looking at the red flags. We're taking things slowly. Finding someone who shares our values. If we do not have those, let's not settle. Let's not say, okay, I'm getting older. I'm 46.
No.
I'm a single woman. So we don't want to try to rush time
Yeah.
or rush just to say we have somebody.
Yeah.
We need to take these times. And again, we're talking about self-assessment. We're talking about emotions. We're talking about healing. So all of those things are important.
Yeah.
Which brings me to topic number 5. Not topic, bullet point number 5. Stop focusing on the superficial. So he's not as tall as you'd like. So she's not as slim as you'd like. So he's not as athletic as you'd like. So she talks a little bit more than
She's too
you
loud.
would like. She's too loud. Or so, I mean, of course I'm not making light of people's non-negotiables, because that's why God made people different. So just because it don't float your boat, it can float someone else's. So there's nothing wrong with you having standards. There's nothing wrong with you wanting a particular look, because again, you have to lay next to it. And at the end of the day, you have to, and when I say that, I'm talking about marriage, but you have to, that's something that you decide on whether or not you're going to be able to deal with, because that's important. So I know that's one thing for me, because don't drag things out that you already know. Like you say, you see the red flags, say you see the signs, like no need to drag them out unless you're feeling, okay, this person is worth it. I don't like this, but I love this. So that's only something you can determine. But I wouldn't count everything out. But I just want to say, when it comes to dating, it's important to make yourself vulnerable. I know it's not comfortable, but it produces fruit, lasting fruit. Whether it be for this relationship or the next one, it produces fruit. So it's very important that you allow yourself to be vulnerable in a relationship, so that you are dealing with your emotions in a healthy way, dealing with your feelings in a healthy way, or the person that you're in, relationship, dating, whatever, they don't have to try to figure out where you're coming from. Like, would you speak, girl? Would you say what you need to say? Boy, would you say what you need to say? So say what you need to say. Ask God for wisdom now. Don't just be saying anything. What did I tell y'all? I used to just say anything. If it came out, and I talk to my daughter now, she's so like me, or like I was. And I talk to her and I'm like, baby, you can't say everything that you're thinking. People get offended. So, at the end of the day, when we talk about wisdom and what we say, we want to be effective. There's no need of letting it out if we're not effective. Otherwise, you're just satisfying your flesh. You're satisfying your feelings. I feel good after what I said. But it's not just about you. So you find a way to be effective, and that comes with asking for wisdom. All right. Well, this is going to be the end of our session on this Sunday. We thank you again for tuning in with us. Coach Esty, will you go ahead and take us out and say whatever final remarks you'd like to say?
Thank you so much, Coach KJ. This is so good, and I believe our viewers are really gonna enjoy listening to this session. And just follow through. Your values, your values are so important. You need to stick to your values. It's so important. Otherwise you'll be blown by every wind that comes. Every wind that comes, you'll be blown. You need to set your standards. And these are my values, and I stand by them. So thank you so much, Coach KJ. This has been so fruitful. And this is the end of our session today. We just want to say we love you so much. And you'll hear from us again next Sunday. God bless you.
Thanks for tuning in. God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye.